not all of them are at the same stage. You may have, you know, like 25 of them this stage, 50 that y'all see what y'all know we got more hairs than that, but you know what I mean by numbers. So this is the reason that it continuously grows. But it's also the reason that we end up with these little small, fine pieces, because they're the ones that have been replaced and are coming back. If there's like a traumatic event and say people are under a lot of stress, one of the things that'll happen is they tend to lose hair, okay? Once the stress kind of relieves a little bit, their hair will start to grow back. They'll have more of the little small pieces that are present. But under normal conditions, you just kind of have that all over your head. As long as you've got the hair follicle and the blood supply, which is kind of cool. Now, for the most part, the function of hair in early man, where, you know, over the geological time scale that has changed, all right, but very early man was covered significantly in hair because of the fact of that connection with that erector pili muscle and it being smooth muscle and our autonomic nervous system being able to pick up on stuff that might be harmful, okay? You know, now our chances of going out here and having to fight a saber-toothed tiger are none, okay? Early man had that, okay? So basically when their hair stood on end, they began to pay attention to their surroundings. For the most part, the hair we have is termed vestigial. Have you ever heard of that? Vestigial means it's a part that has been left over during these changes that take place, these evolutionary changes. We have little hair present that we have compared to ancestors. A lot of times they also needed it for warmth. We pretty much now have, you know, like the clothes, the heat, the air, that sort of thing. But one of the things that can happen now for us, because we do have these smooth muscles, we do have nerves that pick up, that are attached with the hair. For example, and I don't know about you guys, but since we haven't had a really harsh winter, I'm not looking to all the bugs, looking forward to all the bugs and stuff that's going to be coming out for the summer. Got a feeling we're going to have really bad problems with mosquitoes, gnats, all that sort of thing. But let's say you're outside and, you know, unfortunately the gnats are everywhere, okay? They start coming at you. You're kind of doing this number, swiping at your eyes and everything before they even get there because you've got little nerve endings attached to your eyelashes and they pick up on it. And they're closing your eye before you even know it so that gnat doesn't fool right into your eye, which is kind of cool, okay? Our scalp helps us retain heat. One of the best ways to stay warm in cold weather, put something over your head. Put a hat, put a scarf, whatever. The scalp, the hair on the scalp, protects against sunburn. And if my cousin hears this, he's probably going to be really mad at me, okay? Every year, go to the beach with my cousin and his family. Bless his heart. He's got that little ball thing going on, you know? All right. And so, his wife's a hairdresser, so she keeps his hair shaved real close up, okay? Where it doesn't make it look like that little so visible, you know? But every year we go to the beach, his hair burns. And y'all know I gotta tease him about it, right? Used to be we could do gender identification. Now, the pubic and the axillary hair come about at the time of sexual maturity. meaning they are secondary sex characteristics. I don't know if they talked about that in your bio course, okay? But the axillary and the pubic are part of puberty and secondary sex characteristics. Now, hairs that are found in our nostrils and in our ears, these are actually guard hairs. They are termed vibrissae. What I mean by guard hair is they are actually more of a neuron than they are a hair. Now, if you ever see anybody using something to like pluck out their nose hair, tell them that's not a good idea, because it is more of a neuron than it is hair. Yes, it's okay to clip, okay, but pulling it out, not a really good idea, okay? Same thing for the ear. Clip rather than pull. I mean, I had a guy tell me one time, he said, oh, I get my nose waxed. What? He said, yeah, they take the wax, put it in like a little ball form, stick it up my nose, let it dry, and then yank. I was like, okay, sounds interesting. I don't think I'll try, but you go ahead. And I'm thinking, because it's really more neuron based than it is hair based. Eyelashes and eyebrows, believe it or not, the eyebrows' job keeps sweat out of our eyes, because sweat has such a different composition than the fluid in our eyes. That's the reason that if you get sweat in your eyes, they kind of sting. You want to wipe them and everything. Believe it or not, that is their majority of their job for our eyebrows. Eyelashes are there to help with protecting our actual eyeball, to try to keep materials from moving into it. And then, of course, we can have nonverbal communication, which, see how things kind of change? Okay? So, you know, it is a way for nonverbal communication. So the hair, to me, is kind of fun when we look at it. Now, let's look at another accessory structure. Did you?
Yeah, on the study guide it says, what is another name for hair?
Another name, okay. One thing that happens for babies when they're born with lanugo, okay? And that is just simply another term for hair, okay? So in your textbook, it'll kind of, I think it might even have some pictures showing what that is for babies. Some babies have it more than others and kind of look like they've got more hair like on their bodies and stuff than they should, okay? But really what it is it's like the leftover from the embryonic development, and it actually disappears. It just kind of falls off as we, you know, hold the baby, dress the baby, wash the baby, that sort of thing. Yeah. L-A-N-U-G-O. And then, of course, the vibrissae is another term. It's letting us know that it's this more neuron-based than a actual, like, hair. So now, if we look at glands, we kind of talked about, do you guys remember, I think it was the last chapter, where we had the picture of the three glands, merocrine, apocrine, and the holocrine, and what that meant for product moving out. And one of the things that we now find in the glands, we're now seeing our sebaceous gland, all right? And we're going to see our sweat gland. Now, in this structure, and once again, another eccrine, sweat gland, as we look at these glands, okay, note that the one that is attached to the hair is our sebaceous, the oil gland. And in the sebaceous gland, okay, this one was the holocrine, meaning that it's like the break off of an entire cell that comes off with that secretion, that oily secretion. Now, for us as humans, it helps to contribute to our, to our skin, health of it. But one of the things it contributes to is something called the acid mantle, pH. Helping, because if we look at stuff that is acidic, chances are a bacteria or a virus doesn't survive in that. Did you know that the pH of your skin is different on different parts of your body? This is why, for example, you shouldn't use hand lotion on your face, because the pH is different. It'll act differently. So it helps to keep our skin from drying out. It does contribute to the acid mantle, which could help keep out bacteria.
Okay, so I never knew like a pH balance. I thought everything was eternally. So I have like really bad sensitive skin, but a feather can touch me and I'm gonna swell up, I'm gonna react to it. So it's like that. Could that be a reason?
That could be the reason. It could be contributing to it. And sensitive skin, yes. There are people who are so sensitive that, for example, they can't have like any scent in like their soap or their lotion or anything like that. And it's because you're having a chemical reaction to that chemical.
That is so bad. Like I use sensitive skin stuff and sometimes that still breaks me out.
Oh my goodness.
Like I use Cetaphil for my face, like that's like sensitive skin.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start using it because it was making my face like break out so bad. Wow. I can't do that. I don't think.
Do you have to like switch off? Like maybe use so much of it now, switch to a different sensitive free?
Sometimes I can only use like water. Like it just depends on the day. My mom, when I was like my brother was born, so to have his part. She stopped to wash my stuff with baby detergent and everything. Like my skin is that bad.
Yes, yes. And that's something that's very common, because if you look now at products that are available, you've got a lot of products now that are, like for example, all free and clear to wash clothes with, okay? Because it's so sensitive. And one of the things about the baby products is they're trying not to introduce so many chemicals which could get them to having skin problems. So it's definitely something that is very prominent. Now, for the most part, these are going to empty onto the hair follicle. This oily secretion actually comes up and kind of creates a barrier, okay? Because if you think about this hair follicle, that's a little bit of opening that we really don't want to the outside environment. So it is important. It does help with protection, okay? Now, some exceptions on not having these oil glands. The exceptions are the lips, some glands of the eyelids, and the genitalia. So it is a way for helping keep those hair follicle openings protected, as well as the body as a whole. The other types of glands, our sweat glands, just like their name implies, sweat.